Well, I'm calling this segment Pint Counterpint. Where we discuss the merits of an idea or anything, really.
God. Yet another Tell 'em Steve Dave reference.
Right, yeah.
That's a deep dive. Just so you know.
I had this idea, and over time I'm not keen as much on it, but I still think it might be a good idea. So we were talking about power hours, I think on some show a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also had a chicken nugget power hour on the podcast Doughboys that I listened to.
That sounds disgusting, dude. No, thank you.
Chicken nugget every minute.
Ugh.
And somebody did it. John Gabris did it live.
Ugh. Now, that one is probably a little bit easier than a normal power hour just because the volume's probably not as much.
Yeah, you think
Well,
like
maybe.
an
I don't
ounce
know.
of beer is about it. Well, none of that is liquid versus solid.
Well, there's not the same intoxicating effect that there
Right.
would be.
There is an intoxicating effect, but not the same one.
Yeah. Oh, I figured 60 chicken nuggets is a gross amount of food.
So I thought, oh man, that's so fun. We should do something like that on the podcast. And I thought, oh, but a power hour that's so, I don't know, so gauche, and it'd be public display of drunkenness, and
We can do a Dark Lord power hour.
that's death.
Yeah, it would be.
That's a countdown to death at what, 15%?
Countdown to extinction. Megadeth 1991. Or 3, I don't know.
Metallica adjacent reference.
Indeed.
So I'm like, and I never did one in college, which is probably a good thing. So I'm like, we have to have like some event that we can do on the podcast that was like that on Doughboys. It seemed so fun. And I'm like, wait a minute, what about an O'Doul's Power Hour? O'Doul's, the non-alcoholic beverage, actually has an ABV of 0.5%. And we could do a power hour with that and still come out the other side, able to continue on with the day and do activities. We're in our 30s now, so we're not spring chickens anymore, Jeremy. And counterpint, go ahead.
So counterpint is, number one, I'm not buying 10 O'Doul's. nor am I buying 5 O'Doul's.
But, okay, get this. What if there is a variety of non-alcoholic beers that we can try, and then we introduce a comparison aspect into the power hour? So you get your O'Doul's, you get Buckler,
Oh, Jesus.
Caliber.
Yeah.
St. Pauli non-alcoholic,
Ew.
Beck's non-alcoholic,
Okay. So,
Sharps.
My point remains valid. If anything, my point is more valid because at least if we bought a 12-pack of O'Doul's, we'd only be buying a 12-pack of O'Doul's. Whereas if we went to
Bought them individually, it'd be more expensive.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And also, Michael, your worry is that you will have with non-alcoholic beer, you can't get all of the alcohol out of it.
Yeah,
It's like there's
0.5%.
always a little bit of alcohol left over from fermentation. As Michael just said, and I may have talked over it, an O'Doul's comes in at 0.5%. Now, I don't know exactly how the metabolism math works out, but walk with me here, Michael. If we have 5 O'Doul's in an hour, not only would we break out in lame, but it would only be the equivalent of having one 2.5% beer over an hour.
Yeah.
Which
That
is
math
less than the weird Utah 3.2 Coors.
adds up. Right.
So I mean, if we're going to go lame, let's like have a Four Loko or something like that.
Well, what is Four Loko clocking at? Isn't that? I thought Four Loko was pretty powerful.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. It's also lame, but at least we'd have fun doing it.
Well,
Whereas this would just taste like garbage and have no effect.
You know what? That might be your strongest point. We'd have to suck down 5 of these.
5 friggin' O'Doul's, man. That's disgusting.
And it wouldn't taste good at all, yeah.
Or 5 of any of these things. I mean, there is something to be said about the various congeners that get released because of fermentation, right?
Well, there's a description that might shed some light on this. So, O'Doul's and O'Doul's Amber are brewed as traditional premium beers. So they're fermented and aged to full maturity in terms of Budweiser. the the alcohol is then removed through the use of low temperature, low pressure distillation. This extremely gentle process allows the alcohol to be removed without heating or cooking the beer, which retains the full, rich, and delicate flavor and balance of our brews.
I don't know. It sounds,
There's a little chemistry in there.
I'm sure there is, and that's all well and good. But
would you ever bring just split an O'Doul's on the show?
I mean, if I had to.
Just so we can, because I've never had a non-alcoholic beer. It's like that episode of The Simpsons. Nobody's ever asked for it.
Oh yeah, is that the one where they have the garden on the top with Paul McCartney and the late Linda McCartney?
Yes, and the entryway is in the cooler to the non-alcoholic beer.
What if someone wants non-alcoholic beer? It's never came up.
Have you had it?
I don't think so. I hope not. Oh, I take that back. Many, many moons ago, I was at a local establishment with some coworkers. One of my coworkers ordered a Caliber, not knowing that it was non-alcoholic. He was just like, it said it was from Guinness, because he just saw it in the case behind the bar. And I had a taste of it, and it tasted like garbage.
My closest encounter was, and I don't know if I tried it or not, I don't think I did because he was sick at the time, was with friend of the show Steve on a cruise, had a severe case of sinusitis or something pretty nasty, and poor guy was kind of miserable, but he didn't want to drink alcoholic beer and because he felt like crap already, but he wanted to kind of,
party down,
socialize and join the fun. So he got Buckler.
Never heard of that one.
So I don't think I would have drank it because he was quite ill, and I would not want to share his cup. So I guess the conclusion to pint counterpint is
I'm right.
Is that the tagline?
Of course.
For the segment, I'm right.
That's the title of the episode, sir. I am right.
All right. Well, we'll see about this. So maybe we have to get an NA beer on the show. Sometimes we have to get a stinker to pan it. Like Milwaukee's Beast or Occulto. Which actually I kind of had hopes for, but did not pan out at all. So
non-alcoholic Occulto.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll do a power. Maybe we'll have a non-alcoholic beer, or maybe we'll forget we talked about this and never mention it again.